Pocock in his second over beat Gaikwad all ends up. India were 56 for 2. And with spin at both ends, Edmonds tempted Vengsarkar down the wicket. And this time, Paul Downton, who missed Shastri in the first test, made no mistake. Sandeep Patil started slowly, but responded to barracking from a section of the crowd. His partnership with Amarnath was just beginning to develop when Edmonds beat him through the air. Pocock had plenty of time to think about the catch, but that was 129 for 4. And then a tremendous wicket for England as Pocock bowled to Shastri, who made 142 in Bombay. Half the side out for 131 and the 4th wicket to the spinners. And by tea, India had lost 6 wickets. Once again, the spin of Pocock did the damage. Spectacular way as yesterday. This was his second ball to Kapil Dev, who'd made 60. Ellison again, this time to Kamani, who scored a century in Bombay. Gatting's catch gave Ellison his 3rd wicket. Ellison bowled from the other end and came round the wicket to Prabhakar. The ploy worked, and India were 258 for 9. The last pair put on 49 before Lam ran out Shivarama. India, who'd been in trouble twice during the innings, had made 307. England desperately wanted a decent start. They didn't get one as Prabhakar, playing his first test, bowled to Fowler. Gaikwad took the catch round his bootlaces. England were in trouble at 15 for 1. Mike Gatting scored centuries in his last 3 matches, but he was out in the most unfortunate way. He played the ball, which then rolled back into his stumps. What looked like a fine recovery ended with England on 60 for 2. The morning session began splendidly for England, with Alan Lamb coming back into form. He scored only 10 runs in the Bombay test, but this morning he looked more like the man who scored 3 centuries against West Indies during the summer. Then everything went sour, with 2 umpiring decisions that will no doubt feature in the next captain's report. First, Lamb was given out caught Vengsarkar bowled Yadav. Lamb at bait 52, he looked distinctly unhappy and feels he didn't hit the ball. On the stroke of noon, David Gow was given out LBW of the bowling of Shiva Ramakrishnan. Gow had made only 5, and England had collapsed to 181 for 4. The ball did keep low, but hit Gow on the front foot outside leg stump. So once again, dubious umpiring decisions have had an enormous influence on a test match, and more ammunition for the argument for neutral umpires. Chris Cowdrey set off like a rocket. He smashed 33 runs in a 50 partnership with Robinson and looked in tremendous form. But he too went to the 3rd consecutive controversial umpiring decision. He was given out, caught Gavaskar off the bowling of Shiva Ramakrishnan. He looked absolutely amazed. A similar thing happened to him in Bombay. From the slow-motion replay, it certainly looked as though the ball hit his boot, not the bat. But that was 237 for 5. But Robinson was still there, as safe as the Rock of Gibraltar. He looked every inch a test match opening batsman. Robinson's 100 came up after just over 6 hours. And he scored it in only his 2nd test match. Fine consolation after being given out twice in the Bombay test by more doubtful decisions. When Robinson hit Shiva Rama for 4, England had passed the Indian total. And at the close, they had a lead of 30. It's better and better. He's yet to fail out here. He shared a 50 partnership with Edmonds and reached his highest test score of 74. But England needed to accelerate the scoring rate. Edmonds took up the challenge with his long-handled bat. And Shastri's catch gave Shiva Ramakrishnan his 3rd wicket. Downton looked well set for a maiden test century, but took 1 chance too many off Shiva Rama. And the amazing little leg spinner continued his phenomenal run of success against England. First Pocock, and then Ellison. So for the 3rd time in 3 innings, Shiva Rama had taken 6 wickets. England had scored 418, a lead of 111. They couldn't have hoped for a better start. Cowan softened up Prabhakar with 2 bouncers and then beat him with sheer pace. And that was 12 for 1. Cowan's next over, and he was bowling as well as at any stage of the tour. And that was 15 for 2, and England were in a position to win the match and square the series. But Mohinder Amarnath turned the course of the match with a brilliant attacking innings of 56 not out. And Gavaskar livened up the end of the day, smashing Pocock for 14 in 1 over. At the close began with a draw looking the most likely result, but as England's spinners worked their way through India's batsmen, it turned into a real thriller. That was Amarnath completely deceived by Edmonds. Pocock too was bowling beautifully. Gavaskar gave himself all the room in the world. And that was effectively 61 for 4. 3 wickets fell in the space of 15 minutes. When Edmonds dismissed Gaikwad, India had 3 wickets left, and the lead was 105, and England win was on the cards. Kamani, the hero of the Bombay Test, didn't stay long. 8 down and 2 to go. Nobody was leaving this match. Then yet another umpiring rumpus. With Yadav at the crease, Cowdrey first flung himself full length to what he thought was a catch, and then he flung the ball to the ground in disgust as Mr. Dotiwala said no once again. Yadav scored only 1, but stayed around for 40 minutes. No doubt there, as Lamb gave Edmonds his 4th wicket. And when Pocock wrapped it up with the wicket of Shiva Rama, England needed 125 to win, with 59 minutes and 20 overs of play left. Then Robinson, eager for runs and desperate for victory, made a rare mistake. Run out by Vengsarkar for 18 with a score at 41. Fowler didn't last much longer, and once again it was Shiva Rama who struck. And that was 68 for 2. With 9 overs left and only 8 runs required, Gavaskar conceded defeat by coming on to bowl. Lamb clouted the ball into the crowd, and that left 2 to win. No problem for Lamb, and a win for England by 8 wickets. So for the first time for 2 years, the players were able to celebrate a win abroad. After all their problems off the field and their difficulties with umpires on the field, they had good reason to look happy. The spinners, Phil Edmonds and Pat Pocock, had taken 8 wickets between them and set up the victory. And there was no doubt about the feelings of David Gower.
Tremendous, tremendous. It's far more pleasant to be in this position than trying to console ourselves after defeat again. We've done enough of that, I think, over the years. We've had enough of those problems. We've tried to do it rather well, but we've now got the added bonus of being in a winning position. If you hear some background noise in this interview, that means we're happy.